Hey everyone, welcome to What It Flippin' Takes. I'm Jecka St. John, your host, and today I have a very, very special guest, Paul Del Pozo.
Hey, Jecka,
welcome.
how you doing? Thank you.
I'm excited to have him because right now in this industry and in this market that we're dealing with today, it is definitely a struggle to find deals. I think that most investors right now are all kind of fighting for them, right? I mean, between realtors and investors, everyone is trying to get some inventory in their books. And so finding these fixers and these defaults and all the problems that we're all out there looking for, Paul has a great solution that he works with. I've been working with these guys for a while, and I'm really excited to introduce them to everybody else because I kind of don't want to introduce you to everybody because it's like I don't want everyone to know the secrets, but I'm going to share you because
Great. Well, thank you for having me on. I'm Paul Del Pozo, and I am privy of having access to one of the best tools out there in the real estate space right now. And I'll share the secrets with you guys. You know, I'll spill the beans a little bit so you guys can check out what we got going on.
So the product is PropStream, and
PropStream.
and so Paul also does investments, wholesales. He's been pretty much across the United States as well, not just in San Diego or in California.
Right. Yeah. You know, I started investing, years back in South Florida. That's really where I started to cut my teeth, if you will, into the business. And now I find myself out here in California finding property. So I have an experience of really being able to buy on both coasts, which is unique. Sometimes you tell somebody that you're buying property in a couple counties down, and it's crazy to be able to buy properties on both coasts.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
It's just an awesome thing.
Yeah. So how did you start? How did you get into this field of work? Where did you come from? Who are you?
Right. Well, I'm Paul Del Pozo. I'm from New York, born and raised, first generation, which I'm proud of being. Growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to be. Just knew I followed a traditional path. Went to high school, graduated, went to college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I didn't know. So you just start kind of stumbling through life. This job, that job. Had some ideas to start this business, that business, but I didn't really know what being an entrepreneur was. Right. But along that journey, I found myself just trying many different things. I actually tried being a personal trainer at one point.
You still look like you do.
Yeah, fitness and working out has actually been a staple to who I am.
Yeah.
Sometime after college, I found the gym. I started working out, and it became kind of a foundation of being able to keep focused in life. Funny enough, you ask, I started competing in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I really, went all in into that space, into that sport. Found some good mindset tricks there.
Oh, yeah.
When you're trying to stay away from eating the bad stuff or focusing on the things you need to do, you start learning some tools, which later on really kind of helped me when I got into investing. I got into real estate out of necessity. I think like a lot of investors do. We're entrepreneurs. They're trying to find that next step or that next business. And as the internet is, I found or investing found me. I found some webinar online. I sat down, or actually I played it on a long drive across the state, planted a seed in my head, and a couple weeks later, I'm out on the ground knocking on doors looking for my first property to flip. And that's kind of my journey into real estate and where I am now.
Yeah. So you kind of just, it sounds like, you set yourself up with the mindset of being in the past, and then you just got into that webinar and went out there and started door knocking.
Went all in, committed.
That's awesome because it's kind of just from ground up. Most people try to work for a company or like get in their foot in the door and they start learning the ropes, but you just went straight to just going to door knock.
Yeah, you kind of jump into the fire,
Yeah.
and just go for it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just kind of the person that I am.
Right.
You know, sometimes, a lot of times you fail.
Yeah.
You get into a project or an opportunity and maybe it fails. But other times you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
And you succeed. But I really think it was my, you know, my previous years and experience of you know, training and competition and really just setting in that groundwork of, you know, what it takes to push through
Right.
when it's tough, when it's hard, right? Because business building is tough.
Yeah,
Let's be
definitely.
honest. You know,
Right.
we all wish we could start a business and be successful.
Right.
But there's a lot of highs, there's a lot of lows, there's a lot of struggles. But if you stay on track and you stay disciplined to the things that you want, you can achieve the success that you're looking for.
So after you started door knocking and you got a deal, what happened after that? Like, did you keep?
Oh,
I mean,
I celebrated first of all.
Okay.
It was great. You know, you proved this concept that, you know, going out there and for me, I chose to knock on doors, which is probably one of the scariest things to do when, especially when you're starting off.
Right.
But I proved the concept. I proved the fact that if I went out there and I looked for homes, I could find them. If I looked for homes that, you know, potentially had some sort of motivation, I would find them. And luckily enough, I found that first one. I helped this individual who was struggling with his home, and then I continued. You know, I wish I could say it was easy, and I wish I could say the deals just came pouring in, and it's never stopped. But truth be told, it was very hard.
Yeah.
You know, finding that next deal is a struggle. You know,
How did you find a list? Where did you get your list from?
Right.
Did you find a list and go, I'm going to go door knock this neighborhood, or I'm going to go door knock these defaults, or what?
Yeah.
What was? Do you remember what?
so somebody, I don't remember at this point, but somebody had suggested, you know, go get a pre-foreclosure list from your
Okay.
county, and this is in South Florida at the time. Find properties that have an upcoming auction coming up.
Okay.
So from what I remember, it was a list. Maybe they had 30 to 60 days before their auction was coming up, and I figured, hey, these people probably have the most motivation to come up with some sort of option.
Right.
So I printed out that list. I was able to get it from my county, and literally printed it out and hit the street. Started knocking on doors, you know, asking questions, asking all sorts of weird stuff, because at first you don't know.
Yeah.
You get past that fear. You know, people aren't going to jump out, start beating you up, because, you know, mind tricks start really kind of getting to you. But you know, you have the mindset that you're out there helping people. You're trying to find the homes that you know, people need help with. You know, they're going through a life situation, a financial situation, and you're there to help. And I think if you have that mentality, that mindset, really makes that, or getting into the business, a lot easier than just thinking you're going to try to find a house.
Right. Okay. And so then after that, I mean, you started really liking what you're doing, and
Right.
you kept pursuing it, and you mentally were able to get through the first part of door knocking and getting yourself out there. How did you come to find PropStream? Like, what made you start looking into other ways of marketing?
Yeah, so of course, you know, as an investor, you know, our business is really also a marketing business. In being able to, you know, in order to find properties, we really need to, you know, focus in a certain area, you know, whether it's direct mail or it's cold calling, or in my early case, door knocking. You know, these are the actions that you take to find properties. I got involved with PropStream. Funny enough, a good friend of mine, you know, sometimes you have friends and you don't really talk so much about what each other does.
Right.
But then this, you know, conversation comes up with my friend Rob. He says, "Hey man, you know, you're investing. I think you have to check out the software that I have, that, you know, this company that we've had for a while." So I said, "Okay." Go online, start checking this out. Wow, blown away, right? Because now we have this tool that I'd always been looking for, right? My biggest struggles, right? How do I get accurate comps? How do I find property information? How do I pull lists so I could target properties in my marketing? You know, this platform had everything. So I was really intrigued. You know, I told him, "Hey, look, man, you got something incredible here. I'd love to give you some more feedback as an investor." So that's kind of how the relationship started there. And now I'm involved with PropStream as business development, really just kind of getting the product out there to my circle of investors and real estate professionals, letting them know what it is, what it can do for them, and the power behind PropStream.
Yeah. And if you're not using a platform like this of any kind, I mean, basically PropStream is like, if you've used Property Radar, it's like Property Radar on steroids because it's so robust. And at times I meet with you guys and the team and some of my friends that are all helping to build these and do the marketing, and they're explaining everything that's happening with these systems. I'm totally just, my brain is gonna blow up because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like you just don't tell me the details because it is just, they put so much into these systems. You guys put so much information and how things work, and it's just crazy for just the average person to understand like how much goes into these systems to build them, that when you're trying to explain them, you're just like, okay, wait, just tell me the basic stuff of what I need to do to get deals. But that's what's cool is like you can actually go in and find exactly what you're looking for. And what I like as a realtor and as an investor, finding these deals for my investors is I want to spend as least money as possible finding the best deals. And what I found is that you can actually strategically market to exactly what you're looking for, instead of all the realtors that are like, oh, I'm going to just take it all Claremont and blanket 20,000 marketing pieces. It's like, why go for the whole thing? Why don't you strategically spend your money and
you said it right,
right
strategic,
list.
right? And I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake, and especially if they're newer in the business, they don't know where to put their marketing dollars.
Right.
You get into the business and there's so many different
there's so many
ways, there's so much information, everybody's teaching a different strategy.
Right.
Where do you put your money? And the problem that I see a lot is people go very shallow on multiple channels.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of focusing on one particular marketing channel, figuring out how it works, does it work for them, the volume of it needed to get results. They put in on all channels, and maybe you get burnt out, or maybe you're not getting the results that you want. You're spending a lot of money and not converting well, and that's the biggest nightmare. I mean, you put money out and you get no money back. That's not what we're in business for. So having a tool like PropStream, I can tell you is beneficial, right? When trying to find out certain areas of where you want to market. It's a strong tool to really do analysis on, okay, how is this market here or there? Do I want to invest in my market? Do I want to invest in another state? The tool has, PropStream has that ability.
That's what's cool. It's like the other states. I mean, even if you're just trying to help a friend or a family out, or if you do want to look up a property, or if I go to a listing appointment and they need to sell a house in Utah or Arkansas, and I have no idea like what's going on with that market or the value or who's on title, if they can even sell it, blah, blah, blah. I actually had a friend that hit me up and was like, hey, can you help me find out information about, my fiance's mom passed away. Hi, Vanessa and Charlie. They hit me up and they were like, can you find this, information? And I'm going, oh, it's in Oregon. Okay, let me see what I can find. Couldn't find anything like through our MLS system, of course.
And you're the professional, you're the agent. So
was looking it up through like our tax systems, trying to look at other counties, even put in their county through our records, and then, just Googled the property. Still couldn't find any title information. And then I hit my friend up with, the PropStream, got all his information logged in. This was when you guys were first launching everything, and was able to find it. And I was like, so happy. I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, right there, you're right. I mean, having the ability to reach out into other markets.
Yeah.
You said it there. Sometimes you get leads. and they're somewhere else, right?
Right.
People have property, they own property in other states.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of at the mercy of trying to figure out, all right, how do I comp this property? You know, and comping properties is probably one of the most difficult things for new investors.
Right.
And then, you know, on top of that, if it's a new market altogether, forget it. You
Yeah.
know, they need a way to get that. And with PropStream, you can log in, you can see what's going on in that market over there or over here, and it's just an invaluable tool to use, especially if you're an agent, right?
Right.
Because your tools, you're a professional, you
Right.
have the tools that you only have
Right.
in your area. Now we've opened it up to
Yeah.
everybody.
And I mean, I've always been a realtor looking at the MLS and looking through, you know, what I have access to. But it's funny because it's like a lot of these investors, they're not realtors or they're acquisitions guys. They're working on their own. They're trying to wholesale. They're trying to find deals. And they don't have access to the MLS because they're not a licensed realtor. You know, so they're going on Zillow, they're going on Redfin, they're going on like every little portal online that they can find, and they're trying to match up, you know, what they
Piecemealing
think.
stuff,
yeah,
right?
like, okay, I think the value's this or these sold, and it's just crazy because it's like not information that they should really be using. They should be using a system that will actually give them the right amounts or information.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So-
you need accurate data, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to give out a proper offer if your numbers are off, if you don't know the value of property. The free services can be off. You know, they don't understand markets, right? Like an active person inside of a market. So we actually give a user inside of PropStream the ability to kind of play around and manipulate the comps as best for them, right? I mean, how many times in a certain neighborhood you could cross one street and the houses just north of there are totally different value.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know, a computer, you know, these algorithms that computers use can't determine that, right? So having the ability to select your properties to draw your comps is something we can do, and we do very well.
Yeah. And so you do a lot of wholesaling as well, right? So
Yeah.
you're like in LA County, Orange County, and then
Exactly.
like northern San Diego areas. And,
Yeah.
and you, so what I love about you is that you actually do what you say. You know, you're doing this, you're in this grinding away every day, looking for your own properties, looking for properties to wholesale. And so it's not just like this, you know, computer geek that puts the system together and doesn't really know the walk that you have to walk through.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
got to
So
walk the
it's-
walk, right?
yeah.
And I think that was part of the reason. You know, I came on board. You know, the team over at PropStream really embraced me on coming board because I'm in the business. I'm actually doing it now. I'm actively looking for deals every day, not just here in California, but also on the East Coast. So I'm doing some virtual wholesaling. You know, by moving over here, it forced me to, okay, how do I continue doing business in the markets that have already developed networks, leads, relationships. So I leveraged PropStream to be able to get all that information in not only the market I was in, but also tap into other markets in Florida. You know, so yeah, I'm in it. You know, I'm not just, like you say, a computer geek. We're not just a company putting out a product. You know, you're getting the perspective of an active investor
Right.
in multiple markets, not just one local regional market.
And I mean, because you guys are in local markets, which is pretty cool because, like I said, I got to use it myself, you know. But that's kind of like the difference between Property Radar that some people are using now is that you guys are all over, you know, which it's essentially, I mean, I think you guys are the same pricing too. So it's not like,
We're very robust. You know, there's other platforms out there, right? And look, my big thing with products and using data sources, test everything. You know, don't take my word for it. You want to try it out, try it in your market, try it in your business. Data is data, and there's other factors to that as well. What are you doing with that data? How are you executing? You know, how are you locking up contracts? Are you just selling the contract or rehab? Whatever it is, all those other components outside of finding the property need to be in play for you to convert well. So, you know. PropStream is definitely a tool that can help you find them, analyze, and also just do the due diligence you need to be able to put a smart offer out.
right. And I mean, with your system, and it's, you know, for every investor out there learning and all the big investors that are already using systems, realtors, you have to have some kind of platform to start with. Like in this market today, you absolutely have to have something to go off of. You have to have not just the MLS. The MLS is fully under attack by investors already. It's like, and I'm regular buyers. So.
Well, let me ask you a question. How often do you get contacted by an
Oh my
investor?
gosh, like too much. My phone, my emails, everything.
And what are they looking for?
Social
What do they
media
need?
is blown up every time I put a house on there that's any default or any fixer. Yeah, and I mean, I think all realtors, they kind of find their favorite investors because they know who to trust, and they work with those investors. And honestly, I mean, a lot of the numbers are close to the same. They all have their formula that they calculate, and and they all offer around the same. So who do I want to work with? Who do I want my sellers to work with? I want my sellers to work with the ones that we can trust, the ones that I know are going to close, the ones that aren't playing games. So for me, I go with those investors and I build those relationships. And of course, I'm looking for deals for them too, but I'm gonna work with. I have to work with both sides. I have to get the best for my seller, and I have to work with the investor and try to get them, so that I want them to win as well. I want them to be able to keep their business. So it's a fine-tuned line there that I'm walking when I'm dealing. But, ultimate goal is to find the best investor that I trust and put them in that house.
Right. Strong relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
Strong relationships, and that's key to working.
Yeah, I mean,
these
strong
deals.
relationships and networking with the like-minded folks is really important.
Right.
That's a big thing for me, really being able to work and do deals and collaborate with like-minded people of same virtues and morals, right? So that you can get deals done and be happy about it, right?
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
life is short, as they say. We want to
Work
make
hard.
sure that we're not
Play hard.
frustrated with the people that we're working with
Right.
or trying to get deals done. So make sure you're networking with the right people.
Looks like we have some comments, and I did not wear my glasses.
I got you, girl.
Okay.
So Daniel Martinez says, "Hi Jessica, great show, very practical information."
Hi, Daniel.
And then Paul Gellenbeck is giving us a thumbs up. Sierra is waving, Angela is waving, and Johnny is giving us a thumbs up. So.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
What's going on, guys?
If you guys have any questions too, please ask Paul. If there's any questions about their platform or what it can and cannot do or whatnot. And then we'll also have all his information on at the end too, that you can contact them and find out a little bit more about PropStream. You have a Facebook page too, right?
I have a Facebook. Yeah, you can find me, Paul Del Pozo.
They basically, I mean, you guys have been around for a while. You've been around for years.
Right, yeah. The software's been around since about 2004,
Right.
the original version of it, software-based platform. So, people have heard of it, maybe to some degree, but over the course of the last 2 years, we went into redevelopment to bring the version that's out right now, which is an online version, very, full, robust, nationwide, really made it strong. And when I say strong, I mean a lot of tools for you to use, and tools that really will get you results, right? You want to be able to find properties, you want to analyze where to find properties, and then you want to be able to contact those properties. And that's really all of what the platform can do for you.
Yeah. I mean, definitely makes your life easier when you're using a platform like this. I don't know what I would do without using a platform like what do people do? I mean, I know they're getting title searches and working with title and trying to get can you pull me this list, pull me that list? But it's like, why not have the access right at your fingertips and be able to find?
Questions.
Oh, okay, cool.
Daniel said, "How accurate are the phone numbers I pull using PropStream?" Maybe just repeat the question. And then
How accurate are the phone numbers I pull using PropStream?
Right. Well, it depends. Daniel, I'm not sure what market you're in, but like I just mentioned, it's really about testing them out. Markets will vary from market to market as far as accuracy. They can be different from one state to the next. My suggestion is pull a list, test it in your market. Always start small on your testing, see how that performs. If it performs well, then double up and move it up, scale it up.
And then Angela said, "How often is the information updated?"
It depends. The information, your question was information is updated. It depends on the data point, right? There's MLS data in there, there's pre-foreclosure data, there's bankruptcy data. Some of those data points refresh more often than others. Right, in some cases it might refresh that day, maybe twice a day. In some other cases it might refresh in 1 week. So it totally depends on the data point, but it's all relatively updated, right? Within that recent time frame.
I know, like for mine, I think it's saved under like pre-foreclosures or something, and so like on a daily basis, I get the new list,
Right.
and so I can mail out to like whether it's 10 or 15 or 5, whatever pops up that day. That's
Set the alert, yeah,
right.
and it
I
lets
have
you
an
know.
alert set, and it's like instead of trying to canvas a whole big area or being like so overwhelming or doing it once a month, this allows me to be like, okay, send out these 10 pre-made letters, blah, 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 send them out, and it's 10 a day versus.
And for new investors, it's great because,
Yeah,
instead of being overwhelmed by putting out so much or mail, you can really kind of niche down what you're looking for, keep your marketing dollars, low, and really just kind of target some specific areas and try to just maximize your return without, putting out all this,
Right.
all these marketing dollars without knowing, if it's working, does it work for you? Marketing channels are different everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So, you might talk to somebody that's doing something here in California and they say, a direct mail or this type of mail piece works. Well, it might not work in another state or it might work even better. So these are the things that you have to take,
Right.
all that information, and try it out,
Right.
in your business and in your market.
Yeah, and I mean there are some marketing companies, and I've talked to several, and I've kind of tested some of them out, and I kind of, just wanted to know what they're doing in order to like get these leads generated, and there are marketing companies out there that will do a lot of this for you. But the thing is like they don't give you any of the information that they're doing. Like you're not in control at all. So you're blindly paying someone and trusting and hoping that they're marketing to the right people, or even if they're pulling lists, even with cold calling and the cold callers that you hire, and it's like if they just pull their own list, you have no control. Like I like the fact that this system has so much to it that you can change
Yeah, you can
around
choose
what you want.
want,
Okay,
yeah.
you know what? I don't want that. I'll take that out. I'll put this criteria in, and on a monthly basis, you can actually analyze what you're doing and change it around. You have a little more control, and you're not like
You're not stuck in just
Right,
how, yeah.
exactly.
The great thing about real estate is there's so many different ways to specialize, right? I talk to investors all the time that just do one type of property. Maybe they just do probates, or
Right.
maybe they just do pre-foreclosures, or maybe they just deal with tired landlords. Whatever it is that you do, you can find that particular niche that you're comfortable with and focus just there. I really believe in just focusing on one thing. I think the problem that as entrepreneurs, the curse that we have is we try to do way too much.
Yeah.
If you can concentrate on one thing, one goal, get better at that, master that, and then go from there, I think it's a lot better. It's going to get you a lot further than trying to become the master of 10, 15, 20 things.
Have you seen a trend at all, like with people trying to more interest in your product just because, the market is shifting. The market has changed. And I know I have investors call me every day, asking for fixers, asking if I have any deals coming up, or, just saying, hey, bring me some deals,
Right. Yeah. You see some changes in the market. Markets are cycles. There's been talk, and we start to see some things over the last few months. From coast to coast. I think what I would say to that is really just being aware of how you're buying, really being aware of what's going on, looking at the market that you're in, and really analyzing what's going on. How long are properties staying on market, and really just being intelligent about what you're doing. Using a tool like PropStream, we have the ability to start looking at the data. How have these properties been selling in this market for a certain amount of time, or whatever it may be? You have that ability to do that there. I would also say, when market shifts, we have to figure out, all right, what do we have to do? Where do we adjust? You know, are our prices, do we have to adjust on our offers? Maybe our offers have to be a little bit more aggressive. So you have to kind of feel out what's going on there. And I don't want to say this as a blanket statement, right? Because from market to market, things can be very different. I talk to guys right now, they're doing great in their market. They haven't really noticed a difference. And then other folks, yeah, they're noticing some days on market shifts and things like that. Just be wise and look at what's going on, look at the data, and just be intelligent about your moves.
I haven't looked too much into like the other markets of other states and stuff. I just had the friend ask me for that request, and it was very easy to find. I found it within like 30 seconds. I was like super impressed. I was just super impressed. But there are a lot of investors actually, you know, that I know of in San Diego that are going to other markets. I mean, they're going, whether it's Arizona market or I don't even know where they're going. I'm like,
somewhere
it's
else.
just it's somewhere else than San Diego, and I'm San Diego. So, but obviously there's more money to be made in other markets, and San Diego and California and Florida is two of the toughest markets out there. And a lot of these investors now are just kind of going, is there even money to be made in San Diego? Like, should I be looking at other markets? I mean, would PropStream, do they give you a general idea if you were to just, if I went to some state that I have no idea about, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, with PropStream, you have the ability to tap into any market, right? And to your point about what's going on down here or any competitive market, there's deals everywhere. Literally, I get asked this question, or I hear it all the time, especially new people. You know, they're starting off, they're not sure, you know, are they in the right market? They hear this market's doing well, that market's doing well, so they're unsure. You know, the fact is there's deals everywhere. You just have to figure out where they are. You know, are you using the right data? If you're using data to find properties, is your network strong enough? You know, are people contacting you with deals? You know, so those are the things you have to measure before saying, oh, you know, this market's too tough. The grass isn't always greener where you go.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you go to another market and it's not as competitive, but there's unique obstacles in that market. So things overcome wherever you're looking. I think with PropStream, you know, you have the ability to tap in as a new person in any market, do your due diligence, pull your own comps. You're not dependent on reaching out to somebody that you know or an agent. Maybe you have no contacts in a new market. You know, what do you do then? Well, you have the ability right now in your fingertips to do all that research yourself to determine, hey, is my time, you know, my marketing efforts well worth it here?
Awesome. So how do you, kind of closing out, how do you see PropStream in the future? I mean, do you see it growing like all over where have you guys started? I mean, are you just starting in California
No, we
Florida and California, or
we're national. I mean, at this point we're national, and we have some, you know, out of the country, you know, users as well, you know, because there's investors all over the world. If you're looking for nationwide property data, I mean, PropStream is really the tool for you. We give you every detail about that particular property, whether there's any issues, meaning like a foreclosure or bankruptcy, anything attached to that property, we give you some indication, as well as being able to comp that in a very smart, intelligent way, so that your offers can be, you know, right, so that you can buy right, so that you can flip that deal.
Yeah. So just in general, I like this system just because it does make your job a lot easier. It makes acquisitions a lot easier. Investors know what they're doing. It's just a lot of information that is useful that people are not realizing that they can use. Realtors, even realtors just in general, just to have this information. I mean, if you kind of want to rise above the rest of the people doing the same exact thing and that same hamster wheel, you know, looking at the MLS, like doing the same, just over repetitive, everybody's going that direction, but there's that certain percent that they see another route, you know, and they go the route that everyone else is not going.
Yeah, well,
PropStream's
going to be around. You know, we're a strong tool. We've developed it for the investor out there to really have the tools that they need so that they can make smart, intelligent decisions and get in the game. Look, it's 2018. Technology is incredible. We can work from the beach on our cell phone. We have the tools out there. We don't have to use, you know, ways of of getting information that were kind of old, meaning calling, depending on somebody else. Now with these tools, we can do what we need mobily, anywhere.
Awesome. Well, and so everyone can find you where? Like, you got your Facebook. Do you want to throw out your number, your email, any information?
Yeah,
that you
well,
might have?
you can find me on Facebook at Paulo Pozo, but you can also find, I want you to check out Flex and Flip. We have a group. The group is really intended for investors or entrepreneurs that really want to keep a focus on health and fitness. And that's really what the whole message of what our group's about, really focusing on staying in shape, staying on point, so that we can live a long, healthy life, right? We get into investing so that we can have a better life, but some of us neglect our health while we're trying to achieve, trying to be on that path and achieve the success that we want. So, my message to everybody is to really make sure you keep your health and your fitness on point so that you can live long and the life that you want.
So is Flex and Flip, is it a coaching, or is it just a group, or like
yeah,
what?
right now it's a group. It's a Facebook group.
Okay.
A lot of high-level investors in there post their everyday struggle or
nice.
success.
Very cool.
Really just an area to encourage each other's growth.
Right.
We're all investors. We're all entrepreneurs. We have that same mindset. We all have the same hiccups and issues. So it's an arena for like-minded folks to really kind of discuss and help each other grow.
Yeah. No, that's great because I work with a lot of the flippers in San Diego, and it's a small world. They all know each other, but what's cool is that they all work together too. Right. So it's like and it's just like same with realtors. We're all in competition, and we all want to get that deal, but at the same time, you have to rub elbows, and you have to also be friends and work deals because we are all working deals. Whether it's wholesaling, like I've seen wholesale from investor to investor. That property might not work for that investor. That property might, they might have too much on their plate already. Yeah. They can't take another one on. They're going to just wholesale it to another investor.
That support system's important. As I say, it takes a village, right, to get things done.
Right.
So your network, your support system,
right.
your business network, that's important to really get things done and push forward.
Yep. Well, Paul definitely has what Flipping takes.
Thank you.
He's doing it actively himself, and then he also is working the systems and teaching other people. So it's very cool that you're sharing this system with us. And if anyone's interested, definitely reach out to him. You can meet with them. They can train you and all that good stuff with their system. So definitely, I love this system. It's something that I don't really want to share with you, but I am. Keep it to myself.
Let it out.
So anyways, thank you, Paul, so much for being on. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching.